I'm a retired policeman. I did 24 years on the PD after I got out of the Army. And we had some kind of close call. Nothing that but it was nothing like what happened to me in the Army, man. I've had PTSD bad from that. It was something else. It was quite something when we pulled around the corner, and they were as surprised as we were. And then, back in the it was like 89, nobody knew. I mean, it was way different back then, man. We opened up on them, and then they put us up there at Island Army Hospital and took all our clothes and had some guy in white hair come in and talk to us, and we had to sign non-disclosure, and we had shots and all kinds. It's quite a story.
Really? Wow. Right here in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Yeah, yes, sir. Right there. It's right up there off of. We were right there off of Fort Knox. Well, we were on Fort Knox, but right there off the I'd say we were probably 6 miles from the main post. That post is huge. It's thousands of acres, and we were doing what was called eradication. We were helping the state police and the National Guard cut down all the marijuana that they, because them guys would come out there and plant all over the place, and we were assigned to back them up, and sure enough, man, that was something. I'll never forget that day.
So you were with some other people, and you were in your vehicle.
Yeah, I was in a 113, and what we were doing was breaking bush, cutting down the bush, and we had a deuce and a half behind us, a couple of Humvees, and the state police were in a helicopter over us, and they said, "Hey, look, we got some individuals out here in the field. We need you to take a look at them." So we go hauling ass up there. I mean, we were fast, and we turned the corner, came up this hill, and sure enough, there's the papa bear, the mama bear, and the two baby bears, and then there was a little youngin', and he got away, but she was hung up on a bear trap, and he was trying to get her out of it. And buddy, it happened really fast. You could tell he was fucking huge, man, Charlie. He was like taller than the 113, and the 113 is about 8 foot. And we opened up on him with the M16 full auto, and her, and then them two juveniles.
Right.
And it probably took, I'd say, between all three of us, the driver, me, and the observer, it probably took 4 magazines from all of us to put it down, full auto. I know I emptied a full magazine, 30 rounds. Well, it was 29. You don't ever put the whole 30 in there. Right. But I put 29 into him, chest and head. And then the gunner, the observer, he had the 2 juveniles, and then my driver, who was out front, he had the mama. And we're not sure we killed her all the way, but it's been something else, man. My driver, he killed himself about 4 years ago. Yeah.
Why? Because of that, you think?
Heavily drinking, bad marriage, but I would say probably, Charlie, it was because, I'm going to tell you something. When you see those things, man, they change it's more than just, it changes I don't know if you've ever seen one, but they change your life.
Oh, yeah, I've heard many, witnesses tell me that, and I could tell they're, still traumatized by it years later. But was it more because it was probably a combination of seeing them for the first time, but then also killing them? Did you feel a little bit remorseful?
I didn't have no trouble killing them, man, because he was coming, he was moving towards us. He dropped that chain, looked at us, roared, and man, that was loud. Through my CBC, my helmet, you could hear him. And it's scary. It was just automatic, man. Because he was coming. I dropped him probably about 6 feet in front of the track.
Jeez.
He started out about 18 feet, and we stopped him about 6.
And this was daytime or nighttime?
Daytime, yeah. It was afternoon. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was summertime, and hot as fuck. August.
So did you know right away what it was, or you didn't know what it was, and then did
I
you go up
wasn't
and,
really sure. I mean, back then, who knew what the hell a Bigfoot was, man? And they called it the creature when we got done with it. And but he was definitely a sauce. There ain't no doubt. He was built like a. I mean, he was eating those rounds up, man.
jeez. So did you go up and inspect them and look
No,
at them
they wouldn't let us.
close?
They wouldn't. They told us stay in the track, and this other, I guess another NCO. I was a sergeant. Another sergeant went up there, and he put a magazine each of 45 in each one of their heads.
Jeez. So
And whenever we shot him, you could see the dust, the dirt, and everything, the dust popping off of him. And then when he was shot, I never forget when he shot him in the head, man. That you could see that blue dust just popping off of there. I mean, he was right in their ear.
damn. And then you don't know what they did with the bodies, right?
Nope. They got us out of there, put us on a deuce and a half. We had a medic checking us out. They took us to Army Island Hospital, stripped us down, separated us, debriefed us, gave us, shots, showered us, and gave us brand new BDUs the next day, battle dress uniforms, and then made us sign these papers and said we're never going to blah blah blah,
Right.
and then cut us loose.
So what made you decide to tell your story, since then?
I have stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Me
So,
too, buddy. I got about 12 months, so I decided to go ahead and tell my story.
yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty amazing story, man.
Well,
Jesus.
it's truth, and it's
What year was that?
huh?
What year was it?
89.
89. And you
Yep.
said the little one got away? There was a small one that got away?
Yeah, small one. You could tell she didn't want to let him go, and he was. I'd say he was about 4 feet tall, and he hauled ass out of there. He was black.
Yeah.
The big one was black. I call him a mama bear was gray brown, and then the two juveniles were kind of reddish brown.
And the mom had her foot in the bear trap.
Yep. I mean, it was damn near off. They had damn near hacked it off.
Oh my God.
And that's why everybody's like, in some comment, why didn't they run it? Because, man, he was trying to get his old lady out of that sumbitch, man.
Jeez. That's
And,
remarkable.
we were on him quick, man. When the helicopter flew over, I'd say probably 30 seconds later we were up that hill, and as soon as we crested that hill, man, we saw him. And they had made like a bed, like there was like a crushed down place where they had been. I don't know if they'd been staying there or what, but she was hacked up pretty good, man.
Right, I can imagine. I heard other reports in Fort Knox. I did a presentation over in Meade County off Dixie Highway, the library over there in Meade County, and I got done with my presentation, and we're supposed to go meet some people for pizza, so I was kind of hurrying, trying to pack my stuff in the van, and
Sure.
this guy who was sitting in the back, he had a hat on. He looked like Indiana Jones or something, with his hat on, but very sophisticated looking man. He comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I've been working out at Fort Knox for 30 years." And the way he made it sound like I don't know his exact title, but he was like
Yeah.
fish and game type person,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah. They had Army game people there. Yeah.
And he said, "I've got some stories for you." And I gave him my card, and he must have had cold feet after that and didn't want to talk to me after that. I should have took the time to talk to him.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You should have. You gotta strike while iron's hot, brother.
Yeah. Wow,
And,
man.
I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't go out in the woods without a pistol anyway. I got to thinking about that, and I was like, man, I'm going to tell you something, Charlie. I know everybody's like, oh, peace, love, and dandelions, Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
Yeah, no, it's probably going to change. I've come close before on expeditions and investigations, and I've been close, and they bluff charge or they break, they push over trees and shit, and I get out of there. But I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and probably over 300 reports I've taken, and
Sure.
never had one hurt a person. I've had them come close, and looking in windows and car windows and chasing people out of the woods, and then they stop at the tree line. They don't follow them. They just get them out of the woods. And they said they could have grabbed me. He could have grabbed me. I said, they don't really want to hurt you, really. They just want to be left alone. Just from my experience,
Well, sure, but I'm sure my experience is different because he was pissed off that his family unit was injured.
Yeah.
And, it's like they explained to us, either way we got out, it was going to be bad either way. He was going to be mad at the humans for hurting his female. And so who knows what he would have done after he got it out. We might have had a really angry creature on our hands.
Right. Yeah. You didn't really have a choice there,
and he did charge. I mean, the juveniles, they were like really confused. You could tell those are the only two I really kind of felt bad about because they, and you could hear them. They were like,
right.
And doing that Chinese kind of, but.
What did its face look like? Did it look more?
It was kind of a Down syndrome. I know you've probably heard that.
Mm-hmm.
He, and she had, her breasts were, they started about quarter way down. They had hair on them, and then you could see the nipples, and they were hanging down like, like the African broads.
Right.
And then you could tell he was a male. I mean, his shit was like hanging out there. And the boys they weren't that big, but he was, man, I never seen a guy that, I mean, he looked like Shaq and probably Hulk Hogan wrapped into one.
Right.
I mean, I bet he was, if he was 3 feet across, he was a foot. And he was monstrous. And the boys, I'd say they were both boys. I didn't really get a look, but they were about 6 foot. And he was every bit of 8. She was probably 7. And then that little youngin was probably about 4 or 5.
Right. Jeez.
And they stunk. It stunk when we killed them, man. It was like they let off. It was like a skunk.
Right.
I tasted this metallic taste. It was nasty. I took a while to get that out of my mouth.
Jeez.
Couple of mouthwashes out of my mouth, but I'll never forget, man, when he walked right over and pop, 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 and I watched just the dust fly out of his, and it was like nothing, man.
Damn.
Crazy. Well, look, I'm going to go eat me some dinner, brother.
Okay.